Oh, I don't know whether it's gonna be offensive. One of my earliest jokes, which has come from the true story, is I've been mistaken as a lesbian academic at a party. I rather attended lesbian friends on, and I have to say that not really. First Edinburgh gig as a performer was in summer 2016. I remember it was down Royal Mile in a pub called Whistle Binky, and I just leap into singing, say, when I saw the city, I just want to say, "Good morning, Edinburgh," something like that. Yeah, that was my first gig, only bit I remember. It was back in 2011. I was on my way to the Highland with a couple of friends. I got to Edinburgh. I just thought it's magical. No wonder J.K. Rowling can write out Harry Potter out of the city. Just, although it was a bit phantom-like in the evening in general, but it's wonderful, a beautiful city. Like in a almost abusive relationship, but you just keep going back to it. It's hectic and it's a very steep learning curve. But comedians also develop a lot of sort of caution wording to each other, how to take care of your own health, your mental strength to get through, because you learn a lot out of it, but it might also take away something from you. I think on the energy level, it's the same. If not, it gets bigger and bigger. The proportion of comedy performer has been growing over the years, but as a highlight is always different. And my personal thing, even before I started to perform, is I will keep a third of my plan ad hoc, impromptu. I will have a third of them pre-booked, so I know what I want to see. I will have another third just out of recommendation from people on daily. So I want to see someone that's already famous. I want to see someone that's already emerging as a future star. But I want to see someone complete bonkers, and you probably won't be able to see. The last few years, I've been going back to see a musical by a Chicago improv group about a parody musical for Game of Thrones, and it just updated with all the seasons progressing. And last year they say that the final season was crap, so we're gonna do a better job than them. So that's been my fantastic Edinburgh memory. Yes. My most memorable experience will be all sorts of rejection you have when you try to promote your show and people having mental breakdown right in front of you, or you accidentally get noticed by complete strangers. One year I just did some open spot. I didn't have a show. Someone has seen me elsewhere, I think a gig in Manchester, and he actually came out to say, "Are you doing a show this Edinburgh? I want to see your show." It was really flattering. I was rather frustrated, didn't have any thing to bring to the table. It's kind of motivate more to write my own stuff and be able to present a nice product. It's one of the biggest possible professional, I would say like almost like a career fair for all the comedians. Yes, I empty my bladder. That's a very important first, and then sip just a little bit without pressing it in a new load. And another, I would think is superstition. I tend not to wear cold color. It was really at the start of every time I wear something blue and green, I bump like shit on stage. I think I've overcome that now, but when it comes to an important gig, I would do that. Just like today, I have a green t-shirt down there, but I have this salmon pink on top just to make sure everything goes well. Edinburgh Fringe, something what I really like is when you go around to gig, you feel the sort of locality and people specific to that town. You make fun of jokes there, but they react in a certain way. So you kind of expect, if I gig in central London, somewhere near Soho Theatre, or if I go to Kent in a commuter town, it will be a complete different way of opening, my strategy, how I interact with people. In Edinburgh, you just get, it's like the wildest possible comedy orgy, so to speak. When you talk to audience, any single one of them can come from any part of this country or any corner of this world. And they are very savvy, but you also have to make sure your joke reference apply to a wider audience as much as possible. I always enjoy performing at the Fringe. I think Fringe is a double-edged sword. If I'm going to be honest, I think Fringe is turning into a financial draining, albeit very, beneficial. It has put a lot of financial stress on a lot of professional and young comedians. And the fact is, it's gonna favor people getting money from the parents, people coming from a much well-off background. I would believe, I'm not too my family situation is not too bad financially. So I also have worked for many years before I started doing comedy. I can support myself, but I think as a whole society, we need a Fringe that is more comedian-friendly in terms of finances, so we can hear lots of voices from people from all kinds of background, and people should be able to do comedy have enough talent, not just because they don't have enough money to support themselves. Well, they are Asian, so obviously not supportive, are they? I still maintain my daytime job as an accountant, and my mom couldn't be more happy about the comedy industry not working at the moment. So not well wishes from her, but I love this so much, and so many people love this so much. I actually want to say, please help save the comedy industry, because people don't have enough support. There's not enough support as other for performance art. Theaters are getting the grant from the government, but comedy venues aren't, and it's quite difficult for the medium to small venues out there. So I think it's very, very important.